this is where I think a lot of Christians really struggle with this is category confusion. And you guys can feel free to push back on this. But it's in the scriptures, there's a differentiation between the role of the individual and the role of the state. And this is why people will read the Bible and they'll be like, man, it says this thing over here and it seems to contradict over here. Actually, there's no contradiction. There's just a differentiation between the role of the individual and the role of the state. So this is why, for instance,
that's really good, Josh.
That's right. This is why, for instance, the Bible will command individual Christians. Jesus will say, hey, man, we should not be people who, quote, live by the sword. But then it will command a government in Romans 13. It will actually command the government to, quote unquote, bear the sword. This is why, for instance, the Bible will command individual Christians to, quote, love the sojourner and the alien that resides among you. But then it will actually bless and affirm a government in protecting a wall to protect its borders. Okay, well, why? Because there's a differentiation between the role of the individual and the role of the state in the scriptures. Then you take it a layer deeper, and this is a whole different discussion. Catholics call it ordo amoris. It means ordered loves. But it's like, we all know this, where it's like, hey, man, like all three of us are dads. My God-given role, and this is really interesting. Watch. So I'm gonna say three things, and the first two, everyone would be like, well, of course. And then when I say the third one, there's gonna be like, you know, people tend to have like a big cringe. I'm a dad. My job is to care about my kids in a way that I do not care about your kids. That's my job.
That's right.
Okay, and I'm supposed to prioritize them in a way that I do not prioritize other people's kids. I'm the pastor of Lake Point Church. My job is to prioritize Lake Point Church in a way that I do not prioritize and care for every church in the entire world. I give disproportionate affection and attention to Lake Point Church because God has given me this leadership role. Well, the role of governmental leaders, guess what? Is to prioritize the nation over which God has put them in authority. They have a responsibility for the good of that nation that they do not have for every nation in the entire world and the citizens of every nation in the entire world. You stack those two things together, differentiation between the role of the individual and the role of the state, and the unique responsibility of a leader, God-given responsibility for the thing over which he has been appointed to lead. And man, it's all of a sudden you get like, hey man, yeah, it's like, it's actually righteous to have a clear immigration policy.